This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
It's a show that's got to do a bit of a self-scout, I'll be honest with you.
I was in the lab all morning.
What'd you find? Did you discover anything?
I got some things to work on.
I do too.
Absolutely.
I do too.
We didn't win.
No, not even close.
Well, there's no way to tell
know.
that.
Right.
But
It could have been this close.
It could have been.
No, because they could have been like, first things first. No, NFL Live.
It could have been a moonlight Oscars situation, but that's not how it works.
No, I think we just got blown out, actually.
But here's the thing, because NFL Live, credit to them, they've gone back to back.
Yep. And we're very kind during the ceremony.
That says something.
It says
like
something.
We're dealing with a mini dynasty that we have.
But let's look at it.
It almost hurts. It almost feels insurmountable.
No, because here's what you're not understanding. Here's what you're not understanding. What did we learn over the last couple of years from the Kansas City Chiefs? Three-peats are damn near impossible. So the field is open for next year. And we gotta be your Philadelphia Eagles. We gotta be the ones that fill that breach.
I'm with you. I'm ready.
I'm a little bit nervous.
This is what we live for.
Bring it on! I just think we have too many food bits. That was part of my self-scout.
Your self-scout is not criticizing
I got a
Brew.
food bit coming in about 5 minutes.
No, really?
That would have been delicious.
Unbelievable. Congrats to all the winners, and congrats to Fox. Fox won a ton of stuff. We didn't.
No.
Fox MLB
cleaned up.
Yeah, we actually brought down the network.
We heard the network's winning percentage. That is true.
Today, Wemby puts up a dud. Is Brew worried about his Spurs?
Brew took 2 L's last night.
Man, bro.
What a disaster.
I was able to watch the game.
Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes is back. He's not dancing at Travis Kelce's wedding.
Yet.
He's throwing the football.
He'll be doing more than dancing.
He might be. I know it's not a Jewish wedding. They're not going to do the hora where you raise them, but he could.
He could
be
on the chair,
either or a lifter.
I mean, I don't want to be weird, but I don't think that has anything to do with his strength.
Oh,
you can sit on the chair.
No, one of the lifters, the guy who gets married is on the chair. It doesn't matter. Point is, he's playing football. He's going to be dancing. He's going to be starting week 1 kicking ass.
And the gate looks good.
Yes, it does.
I mean, he doesn't look like
does.
The
gate looks excellent. I agree.
Props.
And finally, a fresh edition of Tiers.
Yep.
With some bonus tiers.
You love the bonus take.
Well, we've only got 3 teams, so Nick added some bonus tiers. Teams that are on the horizon.
I'll pull back the curtain a little bit, because while you didn't show, because you're not, a great off-the-clock teammate.
No, because I was devastated like Wemby. I didn't show up
after
for the post-game media.
You better not criticize
After the Emmys, there was a bit of a Fox party for the winners and for us.
It was fun.
So we did the committee meeting virtual.
Oh,
because it's 3 teams. It was pretty quick. It was quick.
And honestly,
it
was kind of the standing.
No, the standing.
It was kind of the standing.
How dare you?
It was pretty much
have his phone on
during the committee?
Oh, okay, I can't tell. Parkins, we know you're on the train. Mute your phone. Who is that? Next stop, Stanford. It's Danny, okay? We start in OKC. With Wemby's weeknight, 4 for 15 from the field, 6 rebounds, only 20 points, 13-point loss. Bailed on the postgame, just like me. So here's Spurs head coach Mitch Johnson on if the Spurs need to do more to get Wemby involved.
We're going to need to. He's got to take more than 15 shots, even with the free throws. And, he's going to have to score more than 20 points for sure.
Brew, are you worried about Wemby's quiet night?
Worried? No, I'm dead serious. This ain't no bit.
Okay, all right.
He's 7'5", Wyatt.
I know.
He's the best player on earth.
Well,
he's averaging 28, 12, and 3 rejections in this series. And Game 6 is in San Antonio. Worried. So I'm not worried in the least bit.
Okay, good. Thank goodness.
I'm terrified, troubled, aflutter.
We're right out of the gate.
Wilds out
right out of
pins and needles.
Pins and needles.
I mean, my 4 for 15, Nick.
I know, bro.
0 for 5 from 3.
Wasn't good.
6 measly rebounds in a
ridiculous.
pivotal game 5.
Yeah, I hated it.
And am I concerned? Am I worried? Yeah, I'm worried, Wilds. Duh. All right? My gosh. What kind of question is that?
What question is that? Why'd you come up with
Sorry,
that?
I should have asked it.
No, look, last night was the first time this postseason, in all seriousness,
This is exactly right what Brew's about to say.
that I have felt like the inexperience
Correct.
and youth of Wemby and the Spurs could cost them a trip to the final.
Correct.
And look, I'm not giving up. They still got life.
Yes.
But the way it showed up to me was in Wemby looked exhausted.
Exhausted.
Like whether it's worn down because of the banging of Hartenstein and the Thunder, or it's just the minutes, like his minutes, 29 minutes a game in the regular season, 39 in this series.
Yeah, it's too much of a jump.
That's a heck of a jump.
Like, is this a
and you're
regular
playing
season
every
problem?
other
Yes.
day. You're playing every other day for basically the past 2 series. They had a 2-game break between the series, but they basically been playing every other day. And the reason I say, you could just see, like, defense. I'll start with the offense. I've mentioned his shooting, 4 for 15, 0 for 5 from 3. Here's his shot chart. He missed a lot. It's hard to tell there, but even near the rim, look at all the X's near the rim.
And that shot chart, by the way, because I'm going to show you the 4 makes in a minute, that circle that's out near the free throw line, that's NBA.com got it wrong. All he got was a putback and alley-oops.
Yeah, right.
Everything was,
right.
And so there was nothing within the.
Most, 3 of them were lobs.
Exactly.
And
it was alley-oops and 1 putback is all he got.
And then where it really showed up most, that's bad there. But defensively, you could see, because usually Wemby will jump at a 3-point attempt. And he doesn't block it, but he'll it's an aggravation. It distracts. Look at what they shot against him last night. 61% when he was a primary defender. For the series, it had been 43%. And so I thought defensively, like, he just wasn't going after shots. He wasn't moving. He looked lethargic at times. I do expect him to find it for Game 6, but he definitely looked worn down and exhausted. And I think he's never been through all these 7-game series and 6-game series and things like that.
And you saw it coming up the court.
Yes.
He was one of the last guys up a lot on either end of the court. I thought it was the first time these playoffs, barring the games he left early, either with ejection or injury, where I thought, he was bad.
Yep.
Like, it's not even like, he was bad by his lofty standards.
Right.
Like, no, he didn't make an impact defensively. He didn't rebound the ball. He didn't score. He tried to rally the team in the huddle, but usually when he didn't have it. Sometimes you see the superstar guy who knows how big the game is rallying a team in the midst of him being awesome and everyone else struggling. Mm-hmm. Right. And I get, like, I'm not criticizing him for trying to rally the team, but it was just unique that he was a big part of the problem. And this is where a lot of our initial, is he the MVP, is he the best player in the world, discussions broke down on when I was hung up on the can he average 30. What maybe was a better kind of avenue was, does he have a go-to offensive package? Because right now, where he is as a player is, if his 3 isn't falling, he's a good scorer, not a great scorer, and that's what made
get him to live.
Right, but they haven't done that for him. So like that's what made Game 1 so special. Mm-hmm. The only 3 hit in Game 1 was the 28-footer to force double OT, and he scored 41. But these playoffs have followed a bit of a pattern of this series, which is, if we show his numbers by 3-pointer or by not hitting 3-pointers, if he's hitting his 3, he's the best player in the world.
Yeah.
If he's not, He's a good offensive player. That's the best defensive player in the world. That's this playoffs, 32 versus 23 based on 3 or more threes. And then in the regular season, KW, it's the same thing. And so that is problematic. And I also thought, Dust, run his 4 baskets. And what you'll see is, in the biggest, and they're all going to be the biggest games of his career, I get it. At this point, the next game is the biggest game. But in the biggest game of his career, there was not a single time last night he just got the ball, made a move, and scored. And 1 basket a quarter is also it's not even like he had a flurry. He had literally I'm not saying averaging. Right. I mean, he had 1 made field goal in each quarter. And this is all of them on a loop. It's 3 lobs and 1
putback. One of them, I hate to say,
putback.
is a little bit lucky. I've never seen that play.
The 1 lob.
He didn't even take a shot for, I think, like the first 9 minutes or so of the game. And I think as far as his being worn down, exhausted, some of that may be, and the Spurs are going to have to really look at this in the offseason.
This is right.
We've all said he needs to play closer to the basket a lot of times. Last night, they packed the paint. So he's trying moves. That spin move is going to becoming predictable. So he's got to be careful about that. But he's doing this spin move where he's trying to dribble around guys, and the paint was packed. He's going to have to, if he played closer to the basket a lot of the times, I don't think he'd be as fatigued. He's not running as much. But if he's going to play like a small forward all the time, and he's always on the perimeter, he's guarding on the perimeter, that's a lot of exhaustion and wear and tear, and even on your joints. And I don't know how for somebody that big could it affect them negatively. So I think they got to figure out just playing him more to the basket. You saw no post-ups last night. And I get it, he's not just going to plant down there because he's not strong enough yet. But flash him across the lane, flash him to the elbow, get him posted through movement, and then he can just get the ball and make a quick move and probably score.
And the other thing is what you alluded to, which is one of my favorite personal analogies. KW, why do I wait till the last possible minute in the winter to put on a coat?
This is just, I disagree with this 100%.
I know.
You think it calluses your internal temp.
So, yes, when it dips to 40 degrees in October, in late October in New York City, you'll see me coming to work in a T-shirt, and KW will be all bundled up.
That's winter time.
And I'll say, no, what I'm trying to do is condition myself so when it gets actually cold and I put on the coat, it gives me some relief. There is a level of, I know KW thinks it's
manosphere
dumb.
Stuff.
That's fine. It's not manosphere stuff.
It's adjacent.
I was doing it when
it's adjacent.
Or you can just put on a coat and be warm in 40 degrees.
The point that I am making
right there,
in a roundabout way.
It's like ice bath adjacent.
In a roundabout way.
I was in my tub.
Is
freezing.
And this is going to be not the struggle, but the balance that the Spurs and Wemby are going to have to play his whole career because he is such a unique size that they're going to be extra cautious about injury, which is playing 29 minutes a game in the regular season might make it to where you're less likely to be hurt and you'll be fresher come the playoffs. But the jump from 29 to 39 or 40 like a lot of stars do might be too big. Do you need
They got to get rid of that.
You agree?
The Spurs have been that way for the last, not Duncan early in his career played a lot of minutes.
Correct.
For whatever reason.
Once Duncan got old, they did it for everybody.
And so, nobody's averaging like 33 minutes, 34 minutes on that team in the regular season. So get rid of that. Play the guys 35 minutes.
You want to play that, or is that like a Cornet problem? Just have a better back.
I want to play, what other superstar plays less than 30 minutes a night?
Yes, it's just going to be harder for these guys, for him to be. They are going to need him. He is their biggest edge always, and he wasn't good last night. That's fine.
Yeah.
For them to win championships, like we've talked about, what you're going to see is series where Victor Wembanyama averaged 42 minutes a game. That's how guys do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think he is going to be able to do that if in the months leading up to it he's playing 29. Doesn't even play 40 in the regular season, but you can ramp up to a degree.
What about dribbling up the side of a mountain?
Okay.
As far as training goes. SGA is back to scoring 30-plus and getting to the line. He wasn't happy with his night, though. Take a listen.
I might have had the worst start to a basketball game in my career, but the group held it down, kept us in the game. Somehow we still won the first quarter, but that's just a testament to the guys in the locker room.
When are you going to think you had a good game?
When I have a good game.
SGA this series, Game 4, he had 12 points from the field, 7 from the line. Last night, perfectly even, 16 points from the field, 16 from the line. Were you impressed with SGA's 32-point night?
No. And we're going to talk about the officiating in a bit, even though we try to stay away from it on this show for the most part, officiating talk in general. And I don't think he was even public enemy number one on the Thunder yesterday on some of the more egregious flopping stuff. But he manipulates within what is allowed in the game, the rules and the refs, as well as any player I've ever seen. And because of that, the effectiveness is the effectiveness, the wins are the wins, but the way it makes you feel and the eye test, all 30-point games are not created equal. And last night, it felt to me like he recognized early on, I don't have it. He knew he's a champion. He understood the stakes of the game. He knew what his team needed from him. He's like, well, if I'm not going to be able to do it the old-fashioned way, I've got another trick in my pocket, and that is once they get in the bonus, he's falling all over the court. And it works. It works. This is an Adam Silver problem more than an SGA problem, but I have not been impressed by him, the standard at which I look at him throughout the series. I think it is an interesting conversation. Is he the MVP of the series? Has been, because he's 26 points, 10 assists a game. Yeah. On 38% from the field. Okay. Well,
26 and 10.
On 38% from the field with 17 turnovers versus Caruso, who's 17 points a game on 57% from the field and better defense. I think he probably is, but I was not moved.
When the superstar averages 26 and 10.
Okay, sure, but I'm just saying I have not been moved by him this series.
He didn't even like his game, though, bro.
I was impressed.
Really?
Man, win in advance. Oh. That's all that matters at this point. Win and advance. He's the superstar. If they win the championship and he's, like, let's say he plays in the finals like this and, they beat the Knicks. He's got 2 straight MVPs and 2 straight championships as the best player on the team, as a guard. That's all that matters. We can look back at various series. I mean, Isaiah Thomas, we always talk about the legend. He didn't get MVP his first championship, finals MVP. He had some moments that weren't great, but he's Isaiah Thomas. He's a legend, and he was the best player on that team. So, 32 points, no matter how you get it, is hard to get. He recognized early, I think he started 1 for 6, 0 for 4, 1 for 6, but he knew without Jalen Williams, without A.J. Mitchell, I got to find a way to get 30. And you're right in that this is not an SGA problem. I don't like the falling and all that, but the referees and Adam Silver need to do something about it. If they're going to give it to you, I got to get my team across the finish line.
That's right.
However it happens, I have to do it, aside from being dirty, and he did it. So I'm impressed with it. He went out and got 30.
Let's dig into the referee side of things. OKC's style of play has frustrated fans and opponents alike. Accusations of flopping and a biased whistle have hounded the Thunder all year and have boiled over the playoffs. Here's the Spurs' Stephon Castle.
The way they guard, how physical they are. We don't get that same luxury to be able to play as physical on the other end at times, but offensively, I think we do a good job of screening and playing through it.
So Castle basically saying that Thunder get a kinder whistle. Do you agree?
Yeah, especially last night. And I expect in Game 6 in San Antonio, almost, maybe not quite the reversal, but I think San Antonio is going to get a favorable whistle. Because The league isn't blind. They see what's happening on social media. They see the games themselves. This is ridiculous. And as much as I credit SGA for doing what he had to do to get his 32 points, and you said it right, Nick, it wasn't really just SGA or mostly SGA. The plays
about to play are almost in a row in the second quarter.
This is what Jalen Williams runs into Keldon Johnson.
And then falls down.
And Keldon Johnson gets the foul. He falls down and Keldon Johnson gets, that is ridiculous.
Yeah. That's the same one.
That's the same one.
And then the very next play.
The next one is, the very next play. Jared McCain elbows Dylan Harper in the throat going up the court. Then gets a little contact
and does the Trae Young,
and falls.
Which for 2 weeks was illegal.
That was illegal for a while.
For two weeks, the NBA was like, we're not having it, and then they stopped calling it.
So that's another one that is ridiculous.
And then
here's the third one on Stephon Castle. I watched this over and go, I still don't know what Stephon Castle did.
He didn't. Shea just fell down.
Yeah. And in a game where they blew him out last night. But we all can see these two teams are very evenly matched.
Yes.
In a game like that, in a series like this, these little things matter. And so that's why I'm saying I think the Spurs are going to get a favorable whistle in Game 6, almost to make up for this madness that happened last night.
Okay. So I think This could be KW. I don't know how much inventory you have on the Kevin Wildes Podcast Network.
We have a lot.
If not, well, I could maybe do it on What's Right. This could be a 2-hour thing, show on the little things in sports that are actually metaphors for how the larger world as a whole is optimizing and getting worse.
I think we're going to pass.
Okay, no problem. But I think Adam Silver is fighting the wrong war.
How so?
There are two things fans really complain about the NBA. Tanking, flopping.
Yes.
Adam Silver is like, tanking, we're ending it. 3-2-1, but new lottery method. Plus, by the way, commissioner freedom to fine a team $10 million, strip you of your draft pick. I'm ending this. Here's the thing about tanking. When you never have to worry about tanking? Once the playoffs start. And when people really care about basketball? Once the playoffs start.
Yeah.
Flopping, on the other hand, they are fruit of the same poisonous tree. The incentives are this. There are rules in place against both. They're not enforced at all. Mm-hmm. So the smarter teams figure out the ways to exploit it. The smarter teams figure out this is the best way to get a draft pick. And you can't convince me that Oklahoma City, with all of its intelligence and analytics and the fact that everyone on the team does it, that this isn't coached to a degree.
No doubt.
Hey, guys, it is smart if you feel contact to fall. It is worth this many points to do it. And we're whistling through the graveyard on it because it is in the highest leverage games for the defending champion that might soon be the two-time defending champion. You know what every other smart team is going to do? Can't beat them, join them.
Yep.
Hey, we got no choice. We are doing our fans a disservice if we don't do it. And so, to which I would say, A, there are rules on the books, but B, flopping comes from soccer. It was an epidemic in soccer. And guess what soccer did? You get harsh penalties in-game for flopping. Mm-hmm. The type of penalty, you can get a yellow card or 2 yellow cards, a red card for an illegal tackle. If you fake that you got an illegal tackle, that you were illegally tackled and you flop, you get it. So I implore Adam Silver over the summer to be like, hey guys, I want everyone to understand, not only are the flopping rules going to be enforced, we are upping them to an absolute objective. Acting is an offensive foul. And just the way there is technical foul or flagrant foul accumulation, over the course of the season, that can lead to a suspension. And if there were you have to switch the incentives because this is the smart. It is smart because it works. And it works because everyone's afraid to enforce any rules or make harsher rules. But it's horrible for the sport.
So how do you judge the line between selling a call, flopping, embellishment?
Well, did you get touched? Because we showed there's some where they didn't even get touched. 2, it is a judgment call, but everything is a judgment call. Fouls, traveling should be objective, but it's become a judgment call.
It's a little like kicking your legs out on a 3. That felt more prominent for a long time.
And they got rid of it.
Now you guys just fall down. An unnatural shooting motion, that kind of went away.
All he has to do, and look, Adam Silver's done some great things with the NBA Cup. I like the play-in. It gives, all that stuff is good. But I'm just going to keep it real. David Stern, this wouldn't be happening under David Stern. Like Stern put in, I don't know if Stern put in the flopping rules or not, but they're not being enforced. It's like the dress code. Remember there used to be a dress code?
Yeah.
Now it's just kind of faded away. And like enforce, even if you don't put in the new rules, like you said, Nick, just enforce the ones that exist.
There needs to be public embarrassment associated with it. And it is if guys knew that for a true, not selling a call, but true acting, true like I was not touched and I fall over, that I can be suspended a game for that. It ends. And that might seem a little too harsh.
After you get so many. Like
in real time, the other coach can challenge. You have a flop challenge. Separate group of challenges. We say he flopped. If it is, it goes on your record. We have stats of it. People will say, oh my God, this guy leads the league in flops. Yep. Guys it's the reason they don't shoot underhand free throws, KW, because guys are prideful. They don't want to be made fun of. This is awful. And if they win again, everyone will feel like they have to do it. In other words, I think America needs the Knicks to win the title. It's a safe basketball.
They're going to be pulling for the Knicks.
Jalen Brunson's not afraid of an embellishment or two.
That is true.
Mahomes is back throwing the football. That's next on FS1, the Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM.
So here's how it applies to real life.
Here's the thing about the international. Check out the podcast if you get a chance. And our YouTube channel. How's our YouTube channel going, Gianna? Chat was going crazy.
This close to 1.1 million subscribers. Ooh. This close.
You know what?
We're at like 1.1.
Oh, you got Gianna's Bop It game there with the IndyCar drivers, too.
Yeah. Weenie 500.
I wouldn't be mad if I never saw that Bop It game again.
Well, you didn't do well?
No, just...
Brew prefers an older.
He also
prefers Simon.
When I was 11, it was cool.
Oh, I like Simon a lot. Patrick Mahomes is back. First day of OTAs yesterday, and Mahomes was throwing passes about 160 days after his knee injury. Week 1 is 111 days away. Nick, your reaction to seeing Mahomes back on the field? It looks good.
So yesterday, shortly before we mortifyingly lost the Emmy.
Horrible.
The three of us walked the Emmy red carpet. They wanted to have pictures, of potential winners, not us, but potential winners.
Here are the losers, it says.
And then I finished walking the red carpet. You guys escaped away, and at the end of the red carpet, there was like people doing little quick form interviews. And one of the questions that I was asked is, who's the most underrated star in American sports? And my answer was this guy.
Most underrated?
Underrated. And you guys might say that's wrong, that's fine, but here is what is assuredly under-discussed. What an absolute freak of nature athlete he is. And he is, the timeline of this, that he tore his ACL in December and is a full participant in day 1 of OTAs, speaks to, yes, the work ethic, but I think people talk about how hard he works. I think his athleticism and recovery ability has been one of the most important parts of his entire career. We watched him not only win a Super Bowl on a high ankle sprain, but in the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, 2 of the biggest plays were runs by him on that high ankle sprain. And so none of this surprises me. Like it is, we are 6 months to the day, essentially, out from him tearing his ACL. And could he play a football game today? No. But does it look like he is 5 months away? Certainly not. At this point, should the conventional wisdom be, of course he's going to be the week 1 starter?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think that would be the conventional wisdom. Like, that certainly wasn't the conventional wisdom the day after he tore his ACL, and I think it speaks to that.
I mean, it's incredibly impressive. I do think he is a great athlete. I don't think he's underrated in the least bit. I mean, he's generally considered the best quarterback. Even people that none of us say he's the GOAT because that's Brady because of his accomplishments. But a lot of people say he's the GOAT or the best we've ever seen. You know, a good number of people say that.
Just real quick. You invented the term boat. No one says it.
No, they may not say boat.
A lot of people, I've heard a lot of people say boat. No, yeah.
And real talk, I first heard that, I got to give credit where it's due. Pat Riley used to call, when LeBron played for the Heat, he called LeBron the boat.
What?
Privately.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. You've been sitting on this for years.
I think I may have written it when I was at ESPN the magazine, but privately, that's what he called
it. Did not know that.
And so, you know, that's kind of where I got it from.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think he's underrated. And now I think part of it, though, Nick, is in today's society, the way it's not even correct the way we necessarily judge athletes, right? We generally think of fastest, jumps the highest, twitchy, all that stuff. And that's not necessarily Mahomes, but that's not a lot of great athletes.
Correct.
And so I think in that regard, he probably gets some short shrift. He's a great runner. He's not Lamar Jackson or anything like that, but he runs in a timely manner and is running his effectiveness. But this is great. Bottom line is, when their schedule after the week 5 bye really picks up and gets tough, he should be, and he may even be 100% before that.
Yep.
But certainly after Denver, I mean, you got the Indy, you got Miami, you got the Raiders, and then a bye. If those are the 4 weeks where he's getting back to 100%, by the time they play the Chargers, Seattle, et cetera, he should be back to the old Patrick Mahomes, which is great news for the Chiefs.
2 things that are on my radar. One, and we've shown this graphic before, but I just want to reiterate it. I am worried about the Broncos week 1. I wish that 4-week schedule was a little flip-flop so that the Broncos could be before the bye, and Mahomes had a 3-week run-up before you played a defense that had 68 sacks, which was the second most by any team in the last 35 seasons. I'm still a little bit, this is not an ideal matchup, even though it's on Monday. 285 pressures first. This is just not a good team to go up against for a recovering.
You said you had 2 points. Can I respond to this one first? So here's the reason that is not as concerning for me as you are making out to be. I watched when the Broncos had to have the game, playing for the number 1 seed against Chris Oladukin on Christmas. Was it on Christmas night? It was late, it was December. I think it was the Christmas night game. Regardless, that game be tied with 2 minutes left because the Chiefs played a ball control, running the ball without quality running back style, and the Chiefs defense, which has always had success against Bo Nix, and that Broncos offense. As far as when I say the Chiefs defense had success, they have done statistically well against the Broncos even since Sean Payton's been there. So I think week 1 is going to be hey, Kenneth Walker, we paid you all that money. I could see him having the most carries he has in his career as a Chief, week 1. And that they see if they can, Bo Nix also coming off an injury, see if they can exert their will that way, and then really start ramping it up for Patrick, and as Brew mentioned, those other games.
That seems like a good game plan. That came off sarcastic.
No, I knew what you meant.
That seems like a good game plan. All right, then Spot Track. I know you follow Spot Track.
Oh, is this the Karlaftis thing?
Karlaftis.
That was on my notes.
They moved some money around, created $7.7 million of 2026 cap space. Yeah. So now the Chiefs have $13 million in cap space into June. So it's time to play. Who do you like? Free agency.
Well, so here's the thing. They needed some of that money to sign some of their rookies, I think. So I don't think they're going to have a full 13.
It's even less.
But
some of these guys are off the list.
That did hit my radar because the Chiefs don't do restructures a lot. They don't ever do void years. They are not a team that plays like they're cash rich like the Eagles do, where they put money into the future on the credit card. I feel like they would only do this if they thought they were making some type of addition. Now, I don't know if that's a massive addition, like trying to mess up your guys' handshake deal with A.J. Brown, or, and again, I don't know that I would love this, or if it's Stephon Diggs, who keeps liking all the Chiefs players' Instagram posts.
Just for the record, guy likes a lot of Instagram posts.
Okay, fair point. But it does seem like they might be trying to give themselves some financial flexibility pending, how Rashee Rice's knee rehab in county jail is turning out when he comes back.
Quickly, Brandon Ayuk.
No, I think Brandon Ayuk's career, I don't know that he's going to keep playing football.
Keenan Allen.
I don't like old injured guys. Sorry.
DeAndre Hopkins, I'm only going to cross off.
These are all old guys.
Buddy, this is who's available.
Diggs is the guy.
Diggs might be the guy.
Well, there's one other guy you haven't mentioned, but he's also considering becoming, I guess, a full-time DJ in Tyreek Hill.
Is he good at DJing?
You know what? No way to tell. But yeah, we're in late May. There are no great free agents available. The other thing is they might be saving the money for a different free agent who I do think is a future Hall of Famer in Cam Jordan. That's the other thing. They might just still be like, Patrick, figure it out. We're just bolstering the defense.
Catch off. Juju.
Would you rather Tyreek or Stephon?
Stephon Diggs is healthy and ready to rock, man. It's obviously
He had a good year
Stephon.
last year.
Yeah,
he had 1,000 yards.
I know, he was good.
And he's not hurt.
And he hadn't been a problem in the locker room for years.
I still think he might be going back to New England, but we'll see. All right, Lamar's back. Missed week 1 of OTAs, but made his debut yesterday. Also, a reporter asked about his long-term future with the Ravens. He had this to say. Take a listen.
20-some months until possibly be a free agent.
Jameson, you trying to ask the question differently than Jerry just asked me?
I am, yes.
Yeah, that's smooth, but I'm going to give you the same answer.
No, I have a little different question.
All right, go ahead.
Do you still envision yourself long-term here with the Ravens?
Absolutely. I love the Ravens. I love this organization. I love this city. Just the team that drafted me, got a lot of love for me. And I believe, I got a lot of love for the city and this team as well. So, like I told you, the reconstruction is done. Cool with that, but I love Baltimore. Everybody should know that by now.
I brew your reaction to seeing Lamar back on the field and that quote.
It's great to see him involved in the OTAs. Look, he went there for the first day, then missed a few days in the first week. They're voluntary. I'm not going to crush a guy for not going to voluntary workouts, but he is there now. There's obviously a lot. You want him there because there's a lot. He's got a new offensive coordinator, new offense to get used to. They got 2 rookie receivers, 2 rookie tight ends. He lost Isaiah Likely, so you want to see. I'm glad he's there showing leadership. As far as his future there, I will say what I was saying a few years ago when people thought he asked for a trade, right? Or he
did. He publicly said he wanted to be traded.
Yeah, I still was like, he will be a Raven. I know you guys remember
that. And
I
thought he was done.
Yeah. When we see it. When you get a guy of this caliber, or even close to that caliber, like a surefire, like a true star, he's a superstar, but a true star quarterback, you keep him, period. You just keep him because there's so many teams looking for it. And even I think he's going to win the Super Bowl. Even if he doesn't, this is also a business, and there is value in having a superstar as far as the way he plays, once in a generation type talent.
Of course.
Playing for you, even if you don't win it.
Yep.
So he's not going anywhere. He wants to be there. They involved him in the coaching search for Jesse Minter to some degree. So that shows that they trust him and want him there and view him as a leader and the future guy. So yeah, I think it's much ado about nothing as far as is this his last year or anything like that.
So I think it is, I didn't love that he wasn't at the first week of OTAs. He was at the voluntary workouts for a day a few weeks ago, and then OTAs opened last week. He wasn't there, and now he's there for week 2 of OTAs just because he's the quarterback and there's a new coach and all those things you mentioned. I also think Justin Herbert missed some time because his girlfriend was at a concert with, I don't know. Gianna, is his girlfriend a singer? Okay, she had a
influencer turned singer.
I think something like that. My apologies. So I'm not going to.
She's good though.
I'm not going to listen.
She's a good singer.
We're all married guys.
Yeah, she's good. No, she's a good singer.
But, so I'm not going to bet, like, we didn't spend a single second talking about Justin Herbert missing time, so I'm not going to bang on Lamar in that regard. I'm actually going slightly in the other direction. I think, because I was not thinking about this in the contract terms until we played this sound. I thought it was really on the board that Lamar was not going to show up to anything until he got an extension. Most players want an extension with 1 year left. Right. Star quarterbacks get them with 2 years left. Like, that's typically how it has worked. Mm-hmm. And we heard Steve Bisciotti, if you remember, after they fired Harbaugh, and he was asked, he was like, oh, yeah, it'll be easy to get, an extension done with Lamar. He's like, basically same terms as before. I'd sign that right now. And I said at the time, Lamar does not want the same terms as before. He wanted a fully guaranteed deal before. He's won MVPs since then. He's going to want it now. The fact that Lamar didn't get the contract extension and is showing up, to me, signals he's decided whether I get the contract extension this offseason or not, I'm fine with it. And I think if you're a Ravens fan, that is spectacular news. Because I really thought this could, because the other contract stuff has gotten ugly with Lamar at times. I don't blame him for that. He was trying to fight for what he deserved. This, to me, signals he knows he might not get the contract he wants this offseason. He's fine with it. He's going to play. And then next offseason, you'll deal with whatever fight it is, or if it is a fight.
That could be great if he's looking at it like almost as a prove-it year. Like, let me go out there and lead us.
I mean, that is what it seems. It is. I'm surprised that he isn't holding the line. And I think, but if you're a Ravens fan, I think that's spectacular.
At Colts, the Saints, Dallas, Tennessee, and Atlanta.
It's a good start to the year.
I love it.
Yeah, gets hard late, but it's a good start to the year.
It's a great start. Wemby is subbed out late in the game as Mitch Johnson throws in the towel. He's got a chat with Plumlee and Biombo, and then coincidentally or not, Jared McCain is on the receiving end of 2 hard fouls. McCain was asked about the fouls after the game, and here's what he said.
That was crazy. I didn't expect it, obviously. We were at the free throw line, too, and I was like, why'd you do that, man? I'm just asking him a question, and he was like, I got another one for you, too. I'm like, all right, damn, let me to the corner real quick. Let's finish this game out.
He's great. All right, your reaction. There's some talk online that, like, Wemby issued the code red.
Yeah. I mean, look, I've said Wemby is a combination of KD, Giannis, maybe a little Olajuwon. Do I now have to throw in Isaiah Thomas, the leader of the bad boys? I mean, I don't know. We don't know what Wemby said, but he clearly has some nastiness in him. He clearly is like win at all costs. But look, seriously, I think this is where, Nick, the league better get the flopping and stuff under control. Because if you keep giving teams these this team, OKC, these bad calls, and the other team feels like it's getting the short end of the stick, they're going to take matters into their own hands.
This team drives.
You don't want to hurt anybody, and I'm sure they didn't want to hurt him, but just give them some. I don't think they're trying to hurt anybody. I mean, the
Plumlee play is that's a tough play with the guy not looking.
That's also like let me act like I'm not impeding your progress, like setting a pick with.
You saying on McCain?
A little bit.
I don't think the game was over.
I know, but McCain is still kind of like in the mix. McCain is not.
Because, look, whether McCain or not, the Thunder obviously will cross the line, too.
Yeah,
And so it's just used to be called playoff basketball. Now they don't necessarily play that way. But, again, teams are going to take matters into their own hands if the league doesn't start doing something.
I agree. I wrote something down similarly, which is playing the Thunder drives people insane. Mm-hmm. And Thunder fans can take that as a compliment, whatever. Like, it drives the opposing team's coaches, players, and fans insane. That's one thing. The other bigger thing is Victor Wembanyama walked into this basketball game as, I think, the majority opinion, best player in the world. And I'm not saying that changed.
Yeah.
It's the first truly, pivot point playoff game of his career, and played poorly. I believe I am one of the people that thinks what he said to those guys was knock somebody on their ass. I don't know how you say that in French. He could speak French to Bismack, so maybe he said it in English and French. And then skipped out on the media afterwards. None of that is a good look for the face of the league. None of and so to me it's separate convos. One is almost, does the Thunder style bring out, people's worst instincts?
Sure.
Because it feels like we've got to get even somehow. And I also think because, as you said, you didn't say Dort, but when you said they'll do it sometimes too, I feel like Dort is the lead offender in the league of not so borderline dirty play. So guys maybe feel less guilty about giving it back to him on that side of it. But the other side of it is that does feel a little unique to me. It's one thing if a bench player, enforcer type comes in and on their own volition is like, you know what, I'm going to go in there and knock some people down. It feels a little different when the leader and best player on the team gives the orders. And again, we don't know that he did.
We're guessing.
But
he could have been apologizing. Sorry, I didn't play well.
Correct. But it was, so again, I had the same feeling a lot of people on Twitter did, which is, wait a minute. What did he say to Plumlee? Because we didn't show it. Plumlee is, as soon as he comes in the game, is running around looking for contact to make. He's setting screens in weird spots. It was pretty clear he was trying to go knock somebody down. And he did. And I'm not even saying there's not a place for that in sports. But it is unique to see Wemby, if he did, for me to think Wemby told him to go do it. I think that
a lot of great bigs have had enforcers. So, Patrick Ewing had Charles Oakley. Olajuwon had Otis Thorpe the first year they won it. That they will go do the dirty work so the superstar doesn't get,
Kareem had his own
in trouble.
Right.
And so, again, who knows what the talk in those locker rooms? Did a player say, yo, I need you to be my enforcer because I can't get fouled out of the game or get kicked out of the game or whatever. But, I mean, look, we don't know what he said, but I just think the Thunder bring this out of teams, and they're like, look, if y'all going to do it and get away with it.
But they weren't playing the Thunder when he elbowed Nas Reed. I do think we are the very erudite, learned, monk, chess-playing French 7'6" guy appears to have quite, I think, might have a bit of a mean streak to him.
Kareem was very much like that.
Very thoughtful, very learned,
intelligent, all
those things,
and jazz music,
and he'll punch you in the face.
Yeah,
literally.
And a lot of people like that about Wemby. A lot of people feel like
I think he might need it.
It's almost bringing back old school.
I just kind of wish he would have done it himself.
No way.
Well, he can't get ejected.
What do you mean? He was out for the game. There was a
Charles Oakley there. Let's get Charles Oakley back at the Garden while we're at it. His band still.
All that stuff, you got to be careful. That's why you need
live from New York, it's the second hour of First Things First. Even better than the first hour, I promise.
I got to say, KW, losing the Emmy did bring out the best in you.
No,
you had the best hour that you've had in quite some time.
That's not true.
It definitely is true.
I had one fluoride joke.
No, you did more than that.
What else did I do?
You were funny.
I wanted to run through all those wide receivers.
You didn't try to make too many points. It was
You just passed the ball.
It's called facilitate.
Hand it off.
It's called, well, I did that last year and it didn't work out. Got to shoot first. Yeah. All right, second hour, First Things First. Al Harrington's here. It's not his fault we lost the Emmy. Stop saying that.
Stop saying that.
Today, is Brew losing faith in the Spurs? We discuss. Meanwhile, Hank Azaria will be here and talk about Brunson's legacy if he wins the championship. But right now, let me get you caught up to speed on what's been going down. Last night, this is a true story, in a crowded Midtown theater while wearing a purple velvet suit and losing an Emmy. An elite group of analysts, savants, and the First Things First online mob tenacious.
Wow, they were unbelievable.
Hey, shout out to we are the people's champ.
You are for sure.
We are the people's
At
champ.
the same
that
time,
was love. That was love.
I want to put into third
Respect.
gear a little bit. The comments.
Were they
Fired up.
Were they blowing out someone else's candle to make ours shine brighter?
A little.
Yeah, we don't need
We don't
that.
wanna
We
hate.
listen, I can't imagine there has ever been a livelier Sports Emmys live chat than the one yesterday, thanks to
Great
the
take.
people that watch this show.
Old school sports reporters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did not issue the code red.
No.
We had nothing to do
Was
with it.
Gianna online doing her thing?
Yeah.
Shout out to Gianna.
Probably. Yeah.
Fought in toil, burned the midnight oil to deliver the best segment in all of sports. It's an honor and a privilege. It's time, to be honest with you, a very short Tears.
It's only 3 teams.
Only 3 teams.
It's the standings. Can we? I mean,
Hey,
wow.
Is it the standings? I haven't
It's
seen it.
exactly this. I mean,
I hope it's not the standings. I hope you
He's
added
gonna have to
something
switch it
I swear to
now.
God, we lost the Emmy not even 12 hours ago. If you did a USA Today-esque standings, we're cooked. I just saw it. I just saw it.
I don't know what you want me to do.
Funky whiz.
Sometimes the standings are accurate.
Oh, gosh.
Show them the bottom of the
USA
tier.
Today.
the bottom.
You know what the standings don't have? Pithy titles.
Oh, that's
Can't
true.
skip steps.
That's true.
Oh.
So
okay.
here, listen. I think there was, and for some it might still be going on, but a period of, overexcitement because we've never seen a player quite like Wemby. And then when we saw him peaking and Dylan Harper seeming to be peaking and all these Stephon Castle side, all those guys, it was like, you know what? Forget the fact that they've never been to the playoffs. Forget the fact that they're the youngest starting 5, ever to make it this far.
Al was right.
Yeah, okay. Al did say it, but they can win the title. And now we're watching the series, and it's like, they're probably not going to get out of this round. And for me, at least, even if they were to get out of this round, I would feel like they wouldn't be in Vegas, but I would feel like they were real underdogs against the veteran Knicks, which does just speak to the value of having a playoff run under your belt for them next year.
Yep.
Next row on the tiers. Your lying eyes.
They're up 3-2.
Yeah, I get it, bro.
So that's why.
Analytically.
Listen, you can.
That's a good question. I wonder what it is analytically.
The Oklahoma City Thunder, and you can believe their fans, or you can believe your lying eyes. They don't flop just as much as the rest of the league. They don't grift just as much as the rest of the league. It's not, we just don't like them because they're the champs. Flatly not true. There's a champ every year. There might be different, some champs are beloved, some are not, but it's not like every year we're like, you know what, as soon as he wins a championship, flopping frauds. That was never thrown at the LeBron Heat or the Steph Warriors, or people might dislike them for different reasons, and I almost would respect it more if Thunder intelligentsia took a page out of Kevin Wild's book.
Deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what KW would say. KW would say, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
We're
guess
winning.
what?
We're stacking
Jay's going to
chips.
fall down on the opening tip next game. What are you going to do about it? Like, and then atop the tiers, the still,
And
Brew,
they're already in
Brew, this is also how you would have it.
I'm just saying.
The still underrated New York Knicks. Because I saw our friends at DraftKings release the latest, what the odds would be. Mm-hmm. And the Thunder would be minus 280 and the Spurs would be minus 220 against the Knicks. And I'm here to tell you, nobody is playing better basketball than the Knicks. Nobody is healthier than the Knicks. Right. Nobody is more confident than the Knicks. Nobody's going to be more well-rested than the Knicks. Nobody's more experienced than the Knicks. There's no reason the Knicks should be, based on what is no longer a small sample size. It's the entirety of the playoffs.
Yeah.
An underdog to either of these teams, so they're still underrated.
So it was the standing. So I was just going to jump into the question unless you wanted to
It was good. It was good. I mean, it was definitely just a standings. But it was good. It was well done.
All right,
and the names were, as always, fantastic.
Excellent.
Cameron, is that his name? It doesn't.
Bob.
When the Spurs were 4-1 against the Thunder in the regular season, Brew, your argument was pretty sound that San Antonio was just straight up the better team.
Yeah.
Well, now the Spurs are on the brink, and all the numbers have gone down. Let's take a look. Offensive rating, down. Field goal percentage, down from 47 to 42. 3-point percentage, down from 36 to a little bit shy of 32%. Do you still believe the Spurs are just straight up better than the Thunder?
Well, look, I don't want to sound like James Harden, okay, and just say that. Now, they're not getting swept, thankfully, but I think it's incredibly close. I did think going into this series, I thought the Spurs would win in 6. So I thought, obviously, both teams are great. I thought there was a little gap, but a distinctive gap, and the Spurs were better. And I'm not giving up on them to win this series, but it is so close. I feel like if they played a 13-game series, it'd be 7-6 one way or the other. Like, they're that close. And to me, what the difference right now, Al, is in this series, experience. I got 3 things. Experience, where I think even the fatigue you're seeing, like Wemby, Castle, none of those guys have been through, you know better than any of us, how grueling a 7-game series or a 6-game series is, where you're seeing the same opponent night in, night out. They know everything about you. You know everything about them, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. It's draining. So for guys that have never experienced that, it's got to be a difference. So I think that's one edge that the Thunder have. The depth. Without A.J. Mitchell and J-Dub to still be finding enough offense and enough points. And the Spurs, I know Dylan Harper's not himself with the injury, but he's playing. De'Aaron Fox he's not 100%. But I think the Spurs have great depth. But clearly OKC's is better. And then Mitch Johnson was third on my coach of the year ballot. So I think he's a good young coach. But the coaching has been a difference. You saw Dagnall is always tweaking, always little things here and there. I mean, Isaiah Hartenstein hardly plays in game 1 after starting. Now, all of a sudden, he's a huge part of the series. Whereas I'm looking at Mitch Johnson, and I'm saying, what have they done differently to get Wemby some space from all the bodies with OKC to get him, just get him better opportunities offensively? I haven't seen him more in the post. It's just game to game. Does he decide to go in there or not? I don't see adjustments like that having been made. So I think those are 3 of the things that have OKC up 3-2. Now, that said, I believe the Spurs are going to win game 6. And it will be all even going into game 7. And game 7, Wilds, is going to be delicious.
Okay, so.
Oh, poor Al.
No.
What was that? What was that?
What is this? What is
this?
We're doing too much.
What is
the Grim Reaper?
This is too
much. LeBlanc? I don't know why you covered up, because the LeBlanc is usually good news.
Why do we have
the box always had? Oh my.
Whose bit?
I guess.
What is this?
Death's Door.
This is Death's Door.
The Thunder are inevitable. I told you.
Did the Emmy committee see this?
No, this is.
We would have won.
This would have set you apart.
We would have won had they seen it.
What are we doing? That's too small.
I guess
it was too small 3 weeks ago when we did it.
This is Death's Door.
It's a tiny door
I'm
from
nothing
a
if not
dollhouse.
Objective. I said a month ago the Knicks were on Death's Door.
Because it turned the Knicks season around.
And I have
And
to
the Spurs
admit,
logo's
it's upside down.
Oh, the door is
This should be the
upside
base. Okay.
Again, it's just.
Death's Door. Look, you Spurs, you are on Death's Door.
They are.
Knicks right. This motivated the Knicks. When I said they were on Death's Door,
It's upside
that's
down.
when they. No, it's not
Not
now.
anymore. Now it's good.
That's when they took off. I'm looking for the same thing from you. Respond to Death's Door in a
It's
positive
not going to
manner.
stand up. All right, Al, as odd as this sounds, we actually now, more than ever, need cogent analysis.
Yeah, really. I hope you have.
Do you believe the
just
Spurs
gave you
are the better
experience,
team?
depth, coaching.
Yeah, it was great.
That was coaching, and then we had a little fun.
Let Al go ahead.
I do not believe that they are the better team.
Okay,
They're a very talented team. They will win championships, this team, the way they're set up. Like I said before, like what's happening right now, they're getting drug into the deep end of the pool. Yeah. And it's dangerous out there. And what's happening right now is Wemby's tired. All of those guys are tired. They're young players. They've never played this deep into a season before, ever. They've never played this amount of games in one season, ever. And I think that's definitely wearing on them right now. OKC have done this before. To your point about making adjustments and stuff like that, Hartenstein not playing the first game, now he's an integral part of last game. I think there's another guy, I can't remember his name, another Wiggins that came off the bench I hadn't even seen before ever in life.
Oh, Kendrick.
Kendrick, yeah.
He has been on.
You throw him in there.
Yeah, he was basically DNP coach's decision the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, and they throw him in and he played well.
And he's productive. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So they're making adjustments and throwing different things out there, and it's working. But that's because they have that championship pedigree.
So we talked about this off the top of the show. I want to dive into it further with you here. The Wemby minutes thing I think is really interesting.
Yep.
Because I understand that a lot of things about the NBA have changed just over the last 10 years, let alone the last 20 years. What really hasn't changed is the guys who are on that year's MVP ballot come games 5, 6, and 7 of a series. The coach's plan usually is you're going to play 42 minutes in game 5, then 44 minutes in game 6, and then we're going to see how close you can come to 48 minutes in game 7. Is that potentially not tenable for Wemby? Not because he couldn't do it in a vacuum, but because throughout the regular season, he was on such a consistent minutes restriction that he's just not going to have that type of conditioning. Like, will they learn from this to where next year he would play closer to 34 minutes a game in the regular season to be more able to do it in the postseason?
So I believe that. I believe that the more you play throughout the season, you're kind of building your body up towards the end of the season, right? The fact that I think he played maybe 29 minutes a game all season to now in the playoffs, I think he's at 39 minutes in this series. And to your point, these last 2 games, they're going to need him to play 40-plus minutes. I know we saying he's an alien, but he actually is human, right? Those little legs are little legs for a reason. And there's a lot of demand on him right now. Unfortunately, like with most superstar players on the offensive end of a court, sometimes on the defensive side, they can take breaks so that they can have something more on the offensive end. Unfortunately, in this position for him, he can't do that. He is their defense. He is the anchor. So he has to be locked in every single possession on the defensive end, and then we're expecting greatness on the offensive end. So we're asking for a lot from him, and I'm thinking that this year he's going to learn a lot. He's going to learn a lot about his body. He's going to learn about different ways that he can train so that next year his body can endure this long run to a championship.
Here's the thing, Brew, that I think is really interesting and that we haven't really spent any time talking about. Because the Thunder yesterday didn't have J-Dub or A.J. Williams. Right. A.J. Mitchell, pardon me. There's too many, all the Williams. I added another one. The Spurs, after game 1, as you talked about, had beaten the Thunder 5 out of 6 games, and in 2 of those games, Wemby was on a very limited minutes restriction. Was playing less than 24 minutes a game. The Spurs had just dominated that matchup. The Thunder now have won 3 out of 4. Wemby is a full go. The Spurs, even if they're banged up, have all their guys. The Thunder are the more injured team, and the Wemby is a full go, and they have flipped it entirely. Yeah. And including one of the games, the Thunder spotting the Spurs a 15-0 lead and then outscoring them 123-93 the rest of the game. That part's been stunning to me. The way they have just taken a matchup that San Antonio had thoroughly dominated at less than full strength, and now they're dominating when they're at less than full strength. And maybe it's the things that you laid out there, but to do it without SGA playing A-plus ball, without Chet all of a sudden playing great ball, it's pretty stunning to see.
I think some of it's diagnosed, as I said, with the coaching, but also it just shows the regular season, the difference between the regular season and the playoffs. Like even the last few regular season games where the Thunder were like, okay, let's show these young boys what time it is. I still think the Spurs probably had an advantage because they're like, this is the big brother right now. This is the champ. Like, so they're always up to prove themselves against them. And the Thunder, who had won a championship, probably couldn't get up as high as they even thought they could when they, in the regular season. So they've taken it up a notch, but like I said, it's not over.
Al, 60 seconds. First time Wemby facing elimination in the playoffs. What are you expecting?
I honestly think that it's over for them.
Really?
Going down in 6?
I think it goes down in 6.
What are you expecting from Wemby specifically?
Big time energy early in the game. I could see, him, hitting the 30, 40-footer three and stuff like that. He'll bring a lot of energy early, but I think as the game wears on, I think he'll fizzle out a little bit. So it's going to be big time on his teammates. Like if the supporting staff can play big time, Fox can give us a Fox-ish game, Castle give us a 25-point game, then that'll give them a chance to maybe win the game. But I think with him, I think he'll start off hot and then kind of fizzle out as the game goes on.
Not good.
Even if they lose, it'll be a good experience for him. He'll go into this offseason on fire.
I cannot believe.
They're not going to lose, but even if he does.
But you have decided to make a.
Well, we don't need to replay
this. This is good. This is.
Oh, Daniel, that's right with Daniel.
Could not be more disappointed.
Look at Kevin.
You have to have a tighter editorial process on that.
Shockingly, no.
This Sunday, the fastest racing on earth, from the Indy 500 to the Detroit Grand Prix. Alex Palou avenging his Indy 500 loss and penalty. Felix Rosenqvist tries to keep his Indy 500 momentum, and Joseph Newgarden don't drive into the wall. I don't even know. He was in a walking boot.
He'll be okay.
You have gotten off of Newgarden's not your guy anymore. Because you're right.
No, he's a Rosenqvist guy now.
It's gone south.
He's a Rosenqvist guy.
You attach yourself to
Detroit Grand Prix, Sunday, 12:30 Eastern, only on Fox. Joining us now to talk all things Knicks, the great Hank Azaria. Hank, we're just going to treat you like a regular old analyst, so buckle up.
I'll slump it like that.
Jalen Brunson carried New York to the finals for the first time since 1999. Fans are losing their minds. Conventionally bad seats at Madison Square Garden, $4,000. Hank, what would a title mean, in your mind, for Jalen Brunson?
Well, I know a lot of people have been talking about is he the greatest Knick ever, which I love Jalen Brunson. I know him personally. He works a lot with Dream School, where I'm on the board. He and his mom, Sandra, have been incredible to us. And I attend his benefit every year for Second Round Foundation. So I love Jalen, but you can't say yet that he is. He might
even
be
if they win the finals, you would.
If they win the finals, well, still, I mean, Clyde has 2 and Willis has 2, and you can't put him up there yet. But man, we didn't, those championships, we didn't wait 57 years. There was no league for that long. So it would mean a lot, and this town already loves him very dearly. So
I think he would become the most beloved Knick ever. I think he would jump you. I think he would.
Clyde's pretty beloved, especially with the announcing and all that.
Yes, but I think we are, and this is probably, maybe not so much on this show, but I think in general, I think most people have no idea. Nobody knows Clyde had 36 and 19 in the Game 7 of the finals. Like, it was 53. It is so far
He was
removed
a superstar
now.
of the game.
Right.
We think of Willis Reed for limping
but it was,
out.
But it was him. He is not, he's closer to Bart Starr era than to Dan Marino. You know what I mean? When you talk about
Clyde.
Yeah, I'm talking about just as far as on the timeline. And so I think when most people think of, most people watching the show think of best or most beloved Knicks, I think they think Ewing, and I think some might say Carmelo. And I think that Jalen Brunson, even if he is not jumping those guys on, me or Brew's all-time list, breaking this drought, this is one of the only really significant sports droughts left.
That's interesting.
The Red Sox and Cubs.
I'm also a Jet fan, so.
We don't even consider
a lot of droughts.
But the Jets are more like.
That's just the way it is.
But the Jets are also more like the Browns in that they're just considered kind of like a sad sack franchise, not a prestige at times franchise with a bunch of different periods of glory that hasn't gotten over the hump. And if he does it, when it's his college teammates as the, kind of co-stars, his contract is what allowed them to make some of these moves.
Can't underestimate that.
Yeah, I think that's a huge piece of it.
And his story. I'm sorry, go ahead, Chris.
No, look, I don't think he's a better player than Patrick Ewing. But if they win this championship, he's 6'2". He averages 27 points a game. He beats either Victor Wembanyama or the two-time MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He will have beaten Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, broke the 53-year drought. I would have to say, and this is the Knicks fans this is just the truth.
Okay.
Those championships in 70 and 73 are great. I don't take anything away from the Lakers winning it in 72. The Bucks win it in 71, right?
It's a great brew team.
But
here we go.
Several of the best players in the world in 1970 and 1973 were in the ABA. That's just a fact. So you didn't have Dr. J was in the ABA in 73. Mel Daniels, Rick Barry and George Gervin. I mean, a lot of the great players were in the ABA. This would be all the greatest players in the world, Jalen Brunson will have taken down. Yeah. So I would have to say he's the greatest Knick if he wins this. I also think he would be, because everything in New York is magnified. It would be 4 great seasons. He'd be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Because it's only been 4 great seasons for him, but every New York, he would be in the Hall of Fame, and he definitely going to be on Team USA in 28.
So
he didn't make the team in 28.
Because I want to, I guess, stay on Brunson for another second, then I had a different question. But the other thing is this, because I know where KW is going to stand on this, that if he wins the title.
What?
If he wants to say I'm the best player alive, he gets to say it.
You certainly get to have the belt of best player alive.
You
might not be the best player alive, but you have the championship belt of best player alive.
That year, you mean?
Here's the kind of the not bigger picture, but I think something Brew might be able to get his arms around. If they play the Thunder and the Knicks win and Brunson outplays SGA, if someone comes up to you and be like, I think Jalen Brunson is the best guard in the NBA. Like, do you think that's a viable, so it's Luka, it's, SGA, it's
you have to.
Can he make that claim? Gosh, and then it feels crazy, and then so that's where I pivot to you, Hank. If somebody came up to me yesterday at the Emmys, right before we lost, and was like, oh, how do you feel about Jalen Brunson now? And I'm like, why am I? It's like, was I anti-Jalen? But I didn't know that the show we did the day after he signed.
Yeah, that's been pretty
You
viral.
saw it, yeah.
Oh, everybody.
But it was everybody. Nobody. And they're like, oh, you underestimated him. Like, literally everyone but Rick underestimated him. But so as a Knicks diehard and a guy who goes to so many of the games, could you, at your most optimistic early in the Brunson tenure, could you have seen this coming?
No, God, no. And also, as a New York sad sack sports fan, you just assume that it's going to go bad, And I didn't really know. I'm a huge Knicks fan. I'm a tremendous baseball fan and a huge NFL fan. I don't follow what's going on in the NBA, except how it affects the Knicks.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know all that was going on in Dallas when he was there with Luka. I just believed what people like you and everybody else were saying was they've overpaid, which would have been a typical Knicks move at that point, and this is not going to work out too well for them. And then everybody was so pleasantly surprised. I think we got wildly lucky that we caught a player in a moment when they were about to explode.
Yep.
And he got the chance to do that here. And he's the guy who he is with the salary and everything else. And I think also the jury's, he's still playing. He seems to me, he improves every year.
Yeah.
He gets better. I know his defense is his soft spot, but even that seems to be...
he fights.
Just working harder at it.
Yeah.
He is. So the jury's really out on all we've been talking about as far as Jalen is concerned. He could win 2. He could he could.
If he just wins this one and then goes on to have 7 more high-level seasons, doesn't win the championship again, it almost would be like he definitely is the best Knick ever because, he will have this body of work. I think, Nick, the interesting question is not so much SGA versus Brunson, Luka versus Brunson at this point. Now, I do think Luka's just a better individual player, but when you talk about building a championship team, there's a lot of argument that you'd rather have Brunson.
I mean, Luka brought a team to the finals,
right?
And so he may have
exactly
do
what
the
Jalen
same
does,
thing. And but Brunson has adjusted his game.
He can play off
more
the ball
than Luka has at any point been willing to adjust his. Brunson's individual statistical heights have not matched Luka's, and Luka's an all-time great playoff performer too. But it's just such a unique story. Just the second-round pick piece of it, the fact that he was a bench player early in his career, there's not a lot of comps for this for American players.
Have you seen the
seen
the viral videos of Rick working with Jalen as
Don't
as
get
a
him
kid?
started on Rick Brunson.
I covered Rick, as you know, when he was with the Knicks.
Summer League was like Jason Kidd.
Summer League, he was awesome. Summer League, he played like Jalen.
I mean, it was like... It was insane. It's like, that old, I'm going to date myself, the old Johnny Cash song, Boy Named Sue, and it's all about being hard on the kid so that he grows into a strong man. I mean, these videos, I don't know who was shooting them, but these videos of Rick working, 11-year-old Jalen into the ground are incredible. They've gone viral.
I like that.
It's
That's
amazing.
how he is, old school. And look at the result, Jalen Brunson.
Can I just say, as a Knicks fan, and as a Knicks fan since 1970, talking about Jalen, it doesn't capture the whole thing. Because a lot of Knicks fans are like me right now. We sort of have this 1,000-yard stare where we just keep saying, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And the way the whole thing has come together, and Jalen's a huge piece of it, it's still, and I've heard you guys talk and many others about all the things that came together to make this happen in the last few years and just in this playoff run. But it's still, it's a mind-blowing thing.
Yeah, Leon Rose is crying.
Yes.
It's like, I think if the Thunder make it back to the finals, I don't think Sam Presti is going to break down.
I mean, this team just completed the most dominant month of playoff basketball by margin of victory in the history of the sport. Nobody saw that coming when C.J. McCollum was going up 2-1.
Yeah. No, they were on death's door.
Yeah, they were.
All right, your charity poker event tomorrow at Citi Field. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, Nick will be there. Have you won it twice or once?
No, I've won each of your charity poker events once. However, when I won, I'm the defending champion of this one.
Yes, okay. I wasn't there, that's why.
When I was there, they didn't give me one of these. Now, I did get a sick trip to the Bahamas, but I didn't get a sick championship belt.
Are those the previous champions?
No, this is the two. It's Marcus Simeon for the Mets, who co-sponsors with Hank, and then it's Hank on there. No, Hank's never won it, right?
I came in, I was at final table with you one year.
So you haven't won it.
No, I have not. I won another one recently.
But tell us about the charities. I'm just being a
we split it with the Mets, all local for New York, and there's still seats available. You guys want to come? Please come. Citi Field tomorrow. A lot of Mets will be there. Nick will be there. Oliver Platt, Noah Emmerich, David Coswell, some cool actors will be there. Myself. And I have a foundation called 4 through 9. We give a lot to education. Dream School up in Harlem and South Bronx, and George Jackson Academy downtown. And it's a really good cause. It's really fun. And we have a good time.
And if you're a Mets fan, there's
a lot of Mets.
There's a ton of Mets, but there's also there's prizes. There's a lot of really cool experiences. Because listen, since I'm playing, everyone's probably not going to win the thing because I probably would defend my title.
He's a ridiculous card player.
I see there's a nice little rivalry between you guys.
I don't even actually.
I forced Hank into retirement.
I've been playing cards for about 35 years, and I had a hand with Nick where he went all in, and I went into the tank. I was thinking about it. And Nick said, I'll show you either card of mine. You have 2 cards down. I picked one. He showed it to me. And I folded. And then as soon as that happened, he went, see, I had He showed me the other card. He had nothing. Nothing. But each card was so terrifying. One indicated a full house, the other indicated a flush. Neither of which did he have. Yeah. But I was like, I'll never think like that. I quit poker right now. I'm not kidding. Like, men like him exist. I'm playing poker with sharks. What am I doing?
Tomorrow, 5:30, Citi Field. Hank, thank you very much. Appreciate
Go Knicks!
And go Knicks, of course.
Man.
More First Things First right after the break.
Thanks, guys. This is really awesome. A thrill for me.
Thank you. No, this is a thrill for us, man.
Welcome to the no bull zone. You get great rates. None of the bull was credible. Spurs lost. Wemby shot 27%, his worst shooting percentage in his early playoff career. After the game, Brewy bailed on the press conference. NBA has warned him.
I can't believe they
don't do that.
fine him.
Well, they fined Jimmy Butler a few years ago, according to Tom Haberstroh. But yeah, he got a warning, a stern warning.
Stern warning. I've never heard of a warning.
That's what he didn't get fined for the elbow either.
No.
Brew, do you have any issue with Wemby skipping media availability?
Yeah, it's not good. He is the face of the league. I think whether you think he's the best player in the league or not, he's clearly pretty much the face of the league. And I think that he has to understand, like somebody needs to sit him down and say, you are the face of the league. That's part of the job. Not even just as face of the league, as an NBA player, any professional athlete. It's tough, but after tough losses, after great wins, whatever it is, you have to go and answer the questions in front of the media. The media, while it's not a partnership necessarily with the league, in some cases it is with TV and stuff, but the media does help promote the game. Right. And so you have to, it's a tough part of the job, but you have to do it. The challenge for Wemby is the Spurs are not the organization to tell him that. Because Pop obviously sets the culture there. And as great as Pop was in all these other ways, he couldn't care less about the media. Right. You know, we saw how he dealt. I was a sideline reporter dealing with him and all that stuff. And so I don't know if anybody in that organization, they won't, I'm not going to say encourage that behavior, but I don't think they're going to chastise him for it either. And so that needs to be dealt with. But I'm thinking of two guys, Wemby is clearly competitive, and he's clearly also got, he's got these goals, these incredible goals in front of him that he wants to achieve. And the guy I would compare him to in that regard is another guy that did the same thing, LeBron. In 2009, when they lost to Orlando in the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 6, they were eliminated in Orlando. I was at the game in the locker room and all that. And LeBron, he didn't congratulate the Magic, just went off the court, and then didn't talk to the media. And that was an elimination game, so I don't even know when the next time the media saw him. But that's because LeBron, like Wemby, came into the league with everything put on his shoulders, and also for himself wanted to be this and that. And so when he didn't get there, it really rocked him, and he did things like this. So I think it's very similar with Wemby.
Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, he's a human being just like everybody else, right? Emotions are high. The problem with, now obviously I'm on the media side, so I had to kind of start to change the way I think. But, as a player, there's just a lot of questions being asked constantly at all times, right? And when you think about a series like just a 7-game series, there is a 7-game series. That means that you're in front of reporters for 17, 18 straight days, right? You at practice, you got to talk to the media. You got to talk to media before the game. Sometime now during the game, they're doing in-game interviews. And then after the game, you have to talk to them. So I think that sometimes, as a superstar player, you've been asked the same question over and over and over again. And after a game like that, he knows what they're going to ask. He's probably so frustrated because, to your point, he has all these goals in mind and things that he wants to do, and he fell short of that. So now he's so frustrated, it's like, I don't have nothing to tell y'all.
So I understand that, but this is what I specifically don't like about Wemby skipping the media. And it's not about being face of the league. Certain guys hate press conferences. They're bad at them. They don't feel comfortable talking. They feel like it makes them look that they're self-conscious about either how they're going to sound or what they're going to say. Marshawn Lynch, who is a really interesting guy, obviously is kind of the poster child for that. That's one thing. Wemby loves them. Wemby is up there holding court. Wemby is opining about ethical basketball and long-term goals and giving thoughtful answers.
Here's why I'm the MVP.
When things are rolling. And now he's had, when the game that he got kicked out of,
the
elbow, he didn't do post-game media. Nobody really focused on it because since he was thrown out, it wasn't top of mind. But he has still never answered for that, ever. He was asked one time before the game by the sideline reporter. He said he didn't hear the question, then answered a different question, and then was asked after the next game when he had the Wemby revenge game when he was there through the elbow, and he just I moved on to the next thing. And now this game, which was, I think, objectively his worst playoff game, up to this point in his career, and he didn't answer. I don't like that. I don't. There is an element of you can't only be comfortable. You can't only be willing to do the discussions when everyone is feting you about how great you are, and you know what I mean. And there has to be an element of. And the other piece of it that I would think is, it does put at least a slight unfair onus on his teammates to have to answer more questions or answer the media. It's like, okay, he's not here. I guess we're going to spend more time with Stephon Castle or De'Aaron Fox or whoever it is. And I am surprised that the NBA, in my opinion, on 2 instances has coddled him a bit. Not finding him for the elbow or when we thought he could be suspended even if we didn't want him to be, and not finding him for this, but instead telling Shams he's been warned. Like, that's odd.
I agree. Both of those are shocking to me. Like, he should have been fined for the elbow. I didn't want him to be suspended. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he should have been fined. It makes you wonder, like, are they...
I thought it was black and white. I thought it was a black and white thing.
Skip it.
You skip it, you get fined.
I would skip if you have a bad game, skip it. If SGA is not going to skip it. Live from New York, first things first, overtime today. Are we starting to worry about Wemby after a dud in Game 5? Meanwhile, look who's back. Patrick Mahomes looking great in early OTAs. And finally, it's Wednesday. This means it's time for another edition of Cool Stats. Alongside Chris Broussard, Kevin Wildes, Nick Wright, and Danny Parkins, the proprietor of Cool Stats. Parkins, welcome back. Not in an outfit, I guess you are.
I mean, these are clothes.
Not a costume, though.
Yeah, it's not a costume, but I decided to wear a jacket and tie today for the show.
Thank you. Okay. And how many costumes or outfits will you be in?
I guess today it'll be 4.
From start to finish, in your real life.
No, because what he wore into work, so you will... 5, and then,
Then obviously as soon as I get home, sweatpants and slippers.
Yeah. Do you have pajamas?
6 outfits.
No,
You do sweatpants to bed?
Sweatpants, and then it all comes off.
All comes off?
Wow. If you're asking.
What?
That is a little TMI right there.
What? If you're asking.
You sleep in pajamas?
Gianna, don't put that on the internet.
Yeah,
you sleep in full pajamas?
I asked for pajamas for Christmas. I said I wanted the pajamas like of an old-timey English banker. Yeah. And my wife got me like a full suit that I put on and go to bed in.
That's too much.
I look resplendent. I look great.
Look at how thrilled he is with himself.
I put on my pajamas and it's time to have a cup of tea. It's great. Yeah, I'll show you guys.
Glad you asked.
All right, Thunder roll.
I'm trying to forget that.
They win by 13. SGA is back scoring 30 at 32. 16 from the line, Parkins. Here he was after the game.
The team was huge tonight, obviously. Someone just mentioned Chet was big to start the game. Obviously, the bench group came in, gave great minutes. But yeah, those guys, I always say, we're a team out there. We don't get this far. I don't have this individual success. This team doesn't have this success without all 15 guys in the locker room, and we proved it tonight. If it was 5 me's out there, we would have been down 20 after the first quarter. But the guys were great to start the game.
Danny, is all your faith restored in the Thunder? Felt like you wavered a little bit.
Come on now. I acknowledge the facts on the ground.
Okay.
I acknowledge the facts on the ground.
That's fair.
Game 1 and Game 2 was just crazy high-level basketball, and Wemby was doing crazy things. And it's a chess match of a 7-game series. And I would say so far the Thunder seem to be winning that chess match in terms of the adjustments and limiting Wemby's impact on both ends of the floor. Really, it's amazing that he only has 18 rebounds over the last 3 games. Like that feels
incredible.
It feels like it's unheard of.
Yeah. 4 or 5 one game in this. Yeah.
But listen, you guys know I've said that the Thunder were inevitable all year. I've called them a perfect basketball team in terms of how they're constructed. It's really impressive that Jalen Williams and A.J. Mitchell, their second and third best offensive playmakers, facilitators.
Yeah,
Chet was great yesterday, but more times than not, the offense needs to come to him than he facilitates the offense. The fact that they can win that game in that fashion with that relative ease without those guys, they might be even better than I thought. Like that is a really impressive, to be able to do that against that team and that defense in that spot with those injuries. I didn't think that they could win a game comfortably without those 2 guys. I didn't.
I mean, look, absolutely. Their depth is greater than we thought. But I think a lot of that was on the Spurs, too. Like, I think the Spurs, Wemby just was, whether it's exhaustion, fatigue, worn down, not just physically, but mentally. Like he was not himself. He looked lethargic at times. And so I think some of the Thunder deserve all the credit, but I also think that I wouldn't say they're better than we thought. But they deserve a ton of credit, and they have found a way to limit Wemby. And it's up to Mitch Johnson, Wemby, Pop, all of them to figure out a way to get Wemby going for tomorrow night.
So I want to explain why why I disagree with you on this, and then I want you to defend your beloved flopping. I do think your faith, if you were way more nervous about this series than the finals. Is that fair? Way more.
Yeah.
So I understand your faith being restored about this series. The Thunder are in my opinion, firm control of the series now. Vegas agrees with minus 450. And they have, frustrated Wemby. They clearly can win without J-Dub and A.J. Mitchell in this series, all of that. That part I understand. But I think you are way too overconfident about what's coming next. And I would not feel great if because your belief is that the Thunder winning the title is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I would not feel great about how SGA is playing going into these NBA Finals. I would not feel great about the fact that J-Dub and A.J. Mitchell, while they survived it yesterday, are going to be either hampered or one of them missing for the NBA Finals. And that's where I think your faith is correct for this series, but overconfident for the next round.
I mean, they haven't lost back-to-back playoff games in 2 years.
And they don't have to lose back-to-back to lose the finals.
Well, they'll have home court advantage.
Yeah.
So, sure, they could
lose game one.
They could lose game one.
Yeah.
I will be very surprised if that happens. And if you want to talk about the internet.
I'm not talking about the internet.
Convinced everybody that the Thunder are the only team that sells calls, as if we haven't watched Jalen Brunson and Luka and James Harden play basketball. That's fine.
So here's my question. Just roll the video, and this is all just the second quarter, and we don't even have to, analyze each individual play.
Yeah.
Do you truly believe that this is just mass psychosis caused by social media algorithm, and that this team is not unique in the way they flop about the court?
Just get pushed in the back.
No. He definitely got. Listen, in pros and look, and Jalen Williams got hit there too. Guys get hit in pro sports all the time. It is the reaction to the inevitable contact that makes people furious. But do you really think this is essentially a sports version of fake news?
I think that it is overstated. I think that it is a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. I think what Stephon Castle said after the game is flatly ridiculous. Like the idea that there would be the refs would have it out to be anti-Wemby face of the league and pro small market Oklahoma City Thunder. Why in the world would the bias
I don't think there's
I don't think anybody's saying he's not saying there's a conspiracy.
He said we don't get the benefit of what they get.
That doesn't mean there's a conspiracy.
But why would
you
one
saw
team,
those calls? Like some of those guys aren't being touched.
I mean, I think why would a team get it? Because they have understood better than other teams what refs reward, and they are willing to do it more shamelessly.
I'm glad you said what refs reward. If you get into the bonus, the reward for that is free throws?
Yes.
Okay. Let's just put up the playoff numbers. Last couple of years, I know you say you don't care about data all of a sudden, but last 3 postseasons, the Thunder have out free throwed plus 14 over a sample of 3 playoffs. The team they're about to play in the finals leads the NBA.
Yeah.
No one talks about that. I don't understand.
Because the one thing you said there that I agree with
is that I
don't understand.
Yeah. Tom Haberstroh just did an evaluation of Shea falling
down.
And it was more than Brunson and Harden.
It was dramatically more than everyone. It was,
some of them, it was a couple percentage points. In the aggregate, it was about 6 percentage points. 17% to 11%.
Right, which is oddly, and again, this is the difference between 17% and 11% is 55%. It's a 55% increase because on what it is. And on the overall falling, Wemby's never falling, it turns out.
Yeah,
Wemby was the guy
who
was never falling. So I just want to. Honestly,
he falls a lot. Yes, he falls a lot.
Do you think? You watch Thunder as closely as anybody?
Yeah.
Well,
Embiid, I think, was falling to protect his joints. Oddly.
Yeah.
Do you think that your genius Oklahoma City Thunder, and I say that sincerely, that this might be something they coach? That they might have realized that your guy Presti and his team have realized an inefficiency. In that, hey, this contact, if you fall, results in a call X percent of the time, and the same exact contact, if you don't fall, results in a foul Y percent of the time, so why not fall?
But then, Nick, why wouldn't they lead the league by a mile in free throw attempts?
But I don't know. I don't know.
So, what are we talking about?
What do you mean?
If the Knicks shoot way more free throws than anybody else, and the Thunder are 9th,
hold on.
This is not like a unique singular thing to Oklahoma City.
I don't think that shows that the Knicks shoot more free throws than everyone else.
That's
right. So
free throw.
It might be that the Knicks don't foul. It might be their style of play. There's a lot of because the Lakers for years, independent of roster, since LeBron's been there, even though LeBron doesn't get to the line, the Lakers lead the league in free throw differential every year. That is that because they're the Lakers? Is it because the style they play? I don't know. But what I'm really trying to get to before we move on is, you think this is a myth?
I think it is way overstated. Yeah. Okay. I mean, Shea I thought Haberstroh actually tracking the shots and doing the data and showing that he does fall more than Brunson and Harden and Mitchell, similar players who we also tracked in that playoff sample. I thought that was like useful data that was scouted, and it shows and confirms that SGA falls more than his contemporaries. But I do think that this is way overstated, and that if we just watched Dylan Brooks and Stephon Castle and Marcus Smart and how they've been guarding SGA these whole playoffs, 2 hands on him as he tries to run around the court. He's being guarded very physically, and they are a physical team, and this is the sort of thing that happens. I really think that is way overstated, and I think it would show up in the free throw numbers. Like, if they have this amazing advantage over the rest of the league because they are gaming the NBA and they are gaming the refs to such an unfair advantage, why isn't the free throw discrepancy larger? Like, I don't understand. That's where it would show up, right?
The
other than social media clips that are highlighted together, like it would show up in fouls called.
The other, and Ramsey said we have to go. The other argument as to why it is, because you're talking about free throw differential. They play such a physical style of defense that they might also be generating a lot of free throws for their opponent. There's a difference between free throw shot and free throw differential.
Of course.
And what I have said all year long, which is one of the reasons I believe Shea shoots 55%, is because early in games, he makes it clear to whoever's guarding him, if you get anywhere near my airspace, I am going to get to the line. And so guys then guard him in a hesitation fashion because they don't want to be gamed by they don't want him to be able to game them by the refs. So then it's an effective method by gaming the officials without getting to the line, is what I would say.
That's where the refs need to take control.
Okay, we're going to quickly do Wemby. Biggest game of Wemby's life. Didn't really show up during the game. Didn't show up after the game for the press conference. Here was Mitch Johnson.
He's got to take more than 15 shots, even with the free throws. And, yeah, he's going to have to score more than 20 points for sure. And
so is that his aggression or game plan or a combination of both?
Yeah, combination of both for sure. OKC did a good job. We got to do a better job. And that's, yeah, probably the easiest in terms of when you just surface level stuff that he'll definitely need to take more shots.
Were you shocked by Wemby's performance, Parkins?
Yes. This is the most normal human thing about this person that I've seen in months. Like, the whole time when I was so shocked that Brew called him the best player in the world before he had ever played in a playoff game was because Michael Jordan and LeBron James, the best basketball players I've ever seen, needed to crawl, then walk, then run through the NBA playoffs. And now we've seen him be ejected from a game. We've seen him seem to settle a little bit. Like, I don't know if it's fatigue, physicality, whatever, but he sometimes just not even crossing the three-point line.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I saw Ryan Russillo say that the Spurs need to wait for him to get down into the post, and they're shooting too quickly. But it's like he's also not running with full force.
Last night, yeah.
Right? Like,
totally
it felt like the first time, skipping post-game media, it's like, oh, he is struggling. He is pressing. He is human. So, yeah, I was shocked by it.
Yeah, I've thought, as you guys know, I've said, okay, they're going to be the first team, or they're going to overcome their lack of playoff experience completely. He's going to do what essentially nobody else has done, other than Bill Walton.
Yeah.
We got to give
First
Bill
since
Walton
Bill
credit.
Walton.
Yeah. But Bill Russell even, people have mentioned Russell, Magic, as guys who've done it. Yeah. Russell went to a team that had made the playoffs 6 straight years, had Bob Cousy. Cousy was the MVP Russell's first year. Magic had Kareem. Tim Duncan had David Robinson. That showed last night that he may need to suffer the pain that all the other great players have suffered. But I'll say this about Mitch Johnson. Like, they don't play like they gotta get Wemby more than 15 shots. They play like whoever gets the ball and sees a crease, go. We don't even know we got this alien that has an advantage every time he gets the ball in the post. So I'm looking at Mitch Johnson and the Spurs coaching staff saying, do something to get him better looks closer to the basket. Make some type of adjustment to do that. Because the whole style, I've been saying this all year, the whole style of play is equal opportunity. We got 5 guys that can score. We know Wemby draws attention, so driving lanes are open, and we just take them. Get him the rock and in positions where he can score easily inside.
Last night he scored 1 basket in each quarter, and 3 were on alley-oops and 1 was on a putback. This offseason, if they lose, this offseason, in addition to just getting physically stronger, he needs to come back with at least 1 go-to offensive move. And he went
with Elijah.
Yeah, right. And so and again, he's gotten better every step of the way. Whether or not he has a huge night at 7'5" should not be dependent on whether or not his three-pointers falling.
That's true.
There's a lot of guys who it's like, well, do they have a big night or not? Was their 3 falling? They're perimeter players. Like, he should be able to be like, don't have my shot tonight. I can still find my way to 30. He's not there yet.
Okay. Well, it's Wednesday on First Things First Overtime.
It's outfit change time.
Means it's time to introduce the character who walks out of meetings by saying, "See you later, calculator." It's Danny Parkins here with some
calculator?
Cool stats.
That's a good one.
He told me that the other day.
He did when he was walking out of your guys' pre-show meeting?
That's right. I say cool stuff in the office as well.
Exactly right.
Because you guys know what else is cool?
What?
Thanks for asking, Nick. Backup plans. You gotta have them.
Gotta have them.
And we're talking about the Thunder and their backups. Get it? Their bench, it's their superpower. In fact, it's a historic superpower. The most bench points through 5 games of a conference finals ever. We only have the data going back to 1983, so I'm going to call it ever. 1983, 257 bench points. I've said their depth is their superpower. It's remarkable. Caruso, arguably the MVP of the series, depending on how you feel about SGA's efficiency. We saw McCain get into the action last night, but he's been coming off the bench. It's a different guy every night. The other Jalen Williams has had big moments in this series.
Kenrich Williams hit some shots last night.
Right, yeah, right. They'll go deep. But that to me is the thing that, like, 1 through 10, it's one of the best rosters we've seen.
I think that's their biggest edge, Brew, if this goes 7. I think they will be so much less tired. Not that, to be clear, I'm not saying that in Game 7, those guys Danny listed, other than Caruso, will have big roles. It's that their frontline guys won't be as worn down as the Spurs frontline guys.
You're just not supposed to be able to survive A.J. Mitchell and Jalen Williams being hurt.
Right.
You disagree?
Even Jalen Williams, too.
I am less. Listen, Jalen Williams is an All-NBA player. A.J. Mitchell, I was
their second leading scorer.
And now it's Jared McCain. Like, I am less moved. Like,
he's not a max guy.
And so it to me feels like, is there a level of, because they are so deep, of replaceability of the next guy to step up type of thing. But J-Dub being out significant.
You guys want to know what else is cool?
Yes, please.
R&R.
Wow.
A little rest and relaxation. Kind of goes hand in hand with this. The New York Knicks, their starters have only played just over 1,300 minutes in the last 2 rounds of the playoffs. That's the second fewest ever entering the NBA Finals. Obviously, that is in large part a product to sweeping the Cavs and not playing that many games, but also blowouts where they will sit out a couple of fourth quarters. Their starters are averaging 32 minutes a night per guy. Then you have all of this extra time off. Talk about being fresh come the postseason. You talk about the best starting 5 in the whole thing. They really have been able to not have to exert too much effort.
Well, it said the 17 Warriors. That team swept its way through, so they played 1 less game than the Knicks had to play. Also, courtesy, can I use someone else's stat during Cool Stats?
Yeah, you know it's cool.
Or is that a betrayal?
No.
Sharing information? Tim Legler said this. It was that they looked up, the Knicks starters are shooting 53% from the field these playoffs, the 5 starters. That's the highest by any starting 5 in the playoffs since the 86 Lakers. And so, obviously back then they're shooting way fewer threes. That team, has Kareem and Worthy and Magic. The fact that this is where I think, Danny, you're still underrating the Knicks. They are on a heater that is not dependent on who they're playing. All 5 of their starters are playing awesome and are fully healthy going into the finals.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That actually leads me into this one, which is cool. Good teammateship right there. But you know what else is cool? Cat people.
No, it's a strong disagreement.
I mean, listen, honestly, if we're talking about felines, I agree. I'm kind of allergic. But when I'm talking cat people, I'm saying Karl Anthony Towns. Averaging 15, 10, and 5 on 40% from 3 in NBA playoff history. Larry Bird, the Joker, and Karl Anthony Towns this year.
Bird was probably on 1.5 a game. Bird
right,
exactly. 0.7 out of 1.
We did say minimum of 15 attempts.
15 attempts.
It's a low number to get him in there. But Karl Anthony Towns is playing the best basketball of his career, and he's making a real impact on the defensive end. Pretty cool.
That's the key. I mean, he used to take himself out of games defensively with just silly fouls, which he's not doing now. And look, that was part and parcel to them completely turning their postseason around, was when they put the ball, had him be a facilitator. I don't want to say put the ball in his hands. And he has answered, with great passing, and it's changed everything for them.
And listen, I know you love the Thunder 8 through 12 men.
Yeah.
They're going to walk into the finals with Jalen Brunson playing markedly better than Shea, with Towns as the next best player in the series, with OG Anunoby playing better than the Thunder's 3rd best guy, with McCain. Like, the Knicks are going to walk into the finals with a decided starting 5 advantage. Now, maybe the depth will overcome that the way we've seen it, but Cat
and the defense.
Cat's the 3rd best player. The Knicks defense has been unbelievable these playoffs.
He's definitely the
I want to see that against Oklahoma.
Cat's going to be the 3rd best player in the series.
Yeah.
We'll see how much Chet improves by getting, kind of Wemby out of his head and out of his airspace. But
And again, It's not over.
I was going to say,
it's not
this
over.
whole segment, there was an undercurrent of.
The Spurs are still very much alive.
Yeah, we need the Bud list more than ever tomorrow. Toes down. Mahomes taking the field week 1.
Death's door.
I'll go get the Reaper
That's
costume.
the Broncos. That's next on First Things First Overtime.
Welcome back to First Things First Overtime. Let's switch gears, talk some football. Joining me now, Super Bowl champion Brian Hoyer. The Chiefs held their first day of OTAs yesterday. And oh, wow, number 15, making throws ahead of schedule. He's a pretty good athlete. 163 days after knee surgery, made his return to the field. We don't know how active he was. This is the only footage we have, but it is still very exciting, of course, for the league and for Chiefs fans. Brian, thank you so much for joining us. Just the news here, 163 days after the surgery. Are you surprised to see Mahomes already back on the field?
I mean, with Mahomes, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, we've gotten to see this guy in the series of Quarterback on Netflix, right? We saw what he puts into his body when he's not injured. So I can only imagine the type of rehab that he's going through right now, pushing himself to get back out there. He looks pretty darn good to me. I saw the golf swing a few weeks ago. It looked pretty good as well. So, man, this guy is just, he's on another level, right? I played with Tom Brady for a long time. Actually, my rookie year was the year Tom coming off of his ACL injury and watching him push himself to get back. And then, unfortunately for me, I dealt with a similar injury in 2013. So I know this path a little bit, but Mahomes is just so unique. He's the best that we have in the game right now. And I expect him to push himself, and really, it's going to be up to the Chiefs staff to really protect him from hurting himself.
Yeah, you know, he is a incredible, exceptional athlete. You mentioned Brady in that type of category in terms of competitiveness, accomplishments, and all of those things. I also was thinking about that quarterback show. I remember when I watched it, I was like, I didn't fully realize that he was doing, or anyone was doing, that intensive workouts in season. Like, that felt like an off-season thing for me. These guys are just different. But my expectation now for him is he has a chip on his shoulder from the losing, motivated with the rehab from the injury, then a football reason. He has a running game with Kenneth Walker. I don't know how good the Chiefs are going to be because there's huge questions about their defense and the youth in the secondary and pass rush and all that. But I am fully expecting Mahomes to have his best statistical season since 2022 in that MVP year. He hasn't had over 4,100 passing yards since then the last 3 years. He hasn't had over 27 touchdowns the last 3 years. I do think motivated off the injury, a running game to play off of with play action, I do expect this to be Mahomes' best year offensively in the last 3.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Kenneth Walker signing was huge. The running game has been lacking in recent years. I feel like they've really put it on Mahomes' shoulder and arm to try to really get the offense going. So now you pair him up with Kenneth Walker in that backfield, and the wizard that Andy Reid is, he's going to draw up some interesting plays, right? He's going to have, I wouldn't be shocked even if Mahomes is healthy if there's not a Justin Fields package and you get him out there with Kenneth Walker in the backfield. I wouldn't be shocked if we see Mahomes and Fields on the field at the same time. With Andy Reid, you never know what it's going to be, but I do think you go back to Mahomes with the motivation. Look, he's elite. He's the top of his class. He's not only motivated to get back from the injury, but to get the Chiefs back to where they need to be. And oddly enough, similar parallels, I would say, between the Chiefs and the Patriots, right? Middle of the dynasty in New England, Brady tears his ACL. It takes a while to get back on top. That's kind of where the Chiefs are at this point too, right? 3 Super Bowls. Don't go to the playoffs last year, lose your quarterback, rebuilding the team in a sense. And so I think that's where they are. And I think that motivates Mahomes more than he's ever been before in his career.
Well, and I mean, it's a little selfish for those of us in the offseason content business. I thought we were going to have months of will Mahomes play week 1? Guy's already throwing at practice, right? I mean, he is clearly preparing to play and expected to play week 1 at this point, yes?
Yeah, I would agree with you. To see him out there doing what he's doing. Now, the biggest thing, and I remember going through this process, now mine was my right knee as opposed to the left, and the left as a right-handed thrower is your plant leg. The offseason is great because you're moving around. You know you're not going to get hit, and that's the next benchmark, right, is the cutting, reacting to a rusher coming at you. And we've all seen how Pat plays the game. How is that going to hold up when it gets to August, September, the beginning of the season. Now, I will say that first year out, that thing swells up, right? So he's going to have to manage it. But as we've seen with his work ethic and commitment, there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be ready to play week one, take those first hits. But I would also add this. Pat has evolved his game as he's grown in his career, right? In the beginning, we were used to the razzle-dazzle, drop back, run around, throw it 60 yards. Even before this injury, I think he has adapted his game to become a better drop back passer, take what the defense gives him. And I think this injury, especially early in the season, will continue to develop that skill for him. And I'm sure we'll still see the Mahomes that we're accustomed to scrambling around, making plays. But I think there will be a part of him that's a little more conscious about that and making sure that he stays healthy this first year back from the injury.
Well, speaking of another quarterback who can run around, let's go to Baltimore. We got to see another debut this week, Lamar Jackson. He was absent from OTAs last week, but the former MVP took the field yesterday. Looks like he's ready to get in reps with the team. Lamar actually just a couple of hours ago spoke with the media today about his future with the Ravens. Here's Lamar.
Still envision yourself long-term here with the Ravens?
Absolutely. I love the Ravens. I love this organization. I love this city. Just the team that drafted me, got a lot of love for me. And I believe, I got a lot of love for the city and this team as well. So, like I told you, the reconstruction is done. Cool with that, but I love Baltimore. Everybody should know that by now.
All right, Brian, do you look at this upcoming year as a make-or-break year for Lamar?
I don't, just because it's a year of transition, right? You got Minter coming in as the head coach. You got a young, I didn't check, but I'm assuming Declan Doyle is probably the same age as Lamar, if not maybe a little bit younger. So yeah. It is going to be a year of transition. And I saw some of the quotes from Lamar, like it's important for him to be around. It's a new system. Going into last year, he knew the offense like the back of his hand. And this year is a big year for him. New coaching staff, new system to learn. And he's got to be the guy. I mean, when you're an MVP, former MVP, and a reigning MVP candidate, at the quarterback position, he's got to be there and take ownership over this offense. I would expect him to be meeting with Declan Doyle constantly, going over the things that he likes, the things that he's done in years past. And I think Declan Doyle's an interesting hire. Sean Payton influence, Ben Johnson influence. How is he going to incorporate that with Lamar's skills? So I'm actually excited about this pairing between those two guys. And really, for me, for Lamar, you always know that he's lurking under the surface, right? And last year, I think he was injured, dealt with the injury, tried to battle through it. He gets back, he's healthy. And man, don't forget about Derrick Henry in the backfield with him as well and utilizing his skills.
Well, and that's part of it, though, right? Because how much longer is Derrick Henry going to be great? He seems to be defying father time. He's one of the great athletes in the history of the sport. And so Lamar obviously has years left in his prime and being good and all of that. But I do think there are fair questions about what are his mid and late 30s are they going to look like as he evolves, as the athleticism wanes. So I do think there's more urgency for a guy who's 30 with his skill set than where we see, Aaron Rodgers playing into his early 40s. I don't necessarily anticipate that being Lamar's career trajectory. So I am just fascinated for as the athleticism wanes, whenever that happens, and teams have to be concerned a little bit less with his mobility, and they can more defend him as a traditional passer, what that version of Lamar Jackson is going to look like. I'm not saying that we're going to see that this year. He'll still be plenty athletic, but to me, that's like phase 2 of Lamar Jackson's career.
Yeah, I agree with you. And he's developed his passing as his career's gone as well. And I think that's where Declan Doyle could really help him. Coming from a more traditional passing scheme, obviously you utilize Lamar's athleticism, but you continue to build it as a drop-back passer as well.
And I mean, listen, I'm not trying to count his money, and great for you if you don't need to be there. But I was reading he has a $750,000 bonus in his contract if he attends 80% or more of the voluntary workouts. And he hasn't hit that threshold each of the last 2 years. Just leaving $750K on the table. It does feel like he should be there. New offense, quarterback of the team, new head coach.
Yeah, 100%. He's got to be there, the leader. And like I said before, a first-time play caller, a young guy, he's got to be the voice in that room in every offensive meeting with the skill guys. He's got to know the system ahead of them and be able to convey the message out there on the field as well. So it's good to see him back out there practicing with his team in OTAs.
Well, Brian, we appreciate you hanging out with us on the OT. Coming up, we're going to get back and talk some hoops. Welcome in Rachel Nichols and Al Harrington. And whether or not, it seems like they took Al Harrington's advice and figured out how to slow down Victor Wembanyama. It's next on the OT. Welcome back to the OT. We got Rachel Nichols and Al Harrington hanging out here with me. Man, which one of us doesn't belong? It would be me. Last night, we finally saw Wemby come back down to earth just a little bit. Al, you gave us the keys yesterday on how to slow down Wemby. He only made 5 shots, made 5 of his 14 shots, had 6 rebounds. So you gave the keys yesterday. I don't know if they were watching the segment. Pretty well-run organization. But do you think the Thunder have finally figured out how to slow down Victor Wembanyama?
I wouldn't say that they figured him out. I would say they're wearing him out. You know, if you think about my keys yesterday, you know, I said that, one, they had to be more physical with him, right? They had to not let him no freedom of movement, keep a body on him at all times. When he did get the ball in dangerous areas, double team him because he's apt to throw some, turnovers and stuff like that. And then also make him catch the ball a lot higher up on the court. Because you make him catch the ball up high on the court, he's not a traditional big man, right? He got that game like Kevin Durant. He want to, get wiggle and all that. So when he's into those moves and stuff like that, if guys can come over and be disruptive, you've seen he's turned the ball over and you look at these plays here, with them being more physical with him, he's missing shots. So I think that it's not that they figured him out per se, but I just think as him being a younger player, his first time in the playoffs, getting this deep in the playoffs, the fact they're playing every other day, I think it's wearing on him mentally and physically.
Yeah, I mean, also Isaiah Hartenstein is wearing on him because he's in his face every single second. And face it, he's just stronger than Victor Wembanyama. That being said, I feel like this series has been an excellent chess match of coaching. And we have really seen from game to game adjustment after adjustment after adjustment. And I expect a bit of that from the Spurs. They can get Wembanyama into some better positions, some set plays. And also it's showing him film and saying, you've got to just fight. Because if you look at the way he battled to get into the paint in Game 4, he was, mixing it up. There was some wrestling going on, even when he wasn't the stronger guy. And the first time we really saw that in Game 5 was toward the end of the 4th quarter when he physically battled Jalen Williams and got a basket from the paint. So part of the issue is Wembanyama having to fight for it more. Part of it is the Spurs putting him in a better position. And part of it is just learning from the immaturity that he showed during this game. There's a reason we say guys have to go through playoffs and tough situations before they win a title. It's because you don't want to panic when you aren't making shots, when you aren't getting to your spots. And we saw a lot of sort of desperation throws early in the shot clock from him. He took 5 3-pointers. He missed 5 3-pointers. So both his composure, the way he fights, and then the Spurs helping him out a little bit. I expect to see something different when we get to the next game.
Yeah, I expect with him being at home, he'll play better. I want to throw some numbers out here because to your point of him being tired, and Rachel, to your point of the adjustments and the physicality, the effort stuff, it's just basically a straight line down on the arrow. So if we throw up games 1 and 2 against games 3, 4, and 5, just not talking about points, just way fewer rebounds, fewer assists, fewer blocks in terms of a per game basis. He's just involved less. And to be 7-5 and have this few of rebounds, Ram, if we go to the next one, to a 3-game stretch have only 18 rebounds. It is the fewest rebounds in a 3-game stretch of any 3-game stretch of his career, but he's doing it while playing the most minutes. I never thought I would see a 7'5" guy who's as talented as him play 36 minutes a game and average 6 boards a game. So I think that's a combination of what both of you guys are talking about.
Definitely. He's just tired. He's a little fatigued. And, I think it's kind of expected. He's playing on both sides of the ball. Right, most superstar players are, required to score on one end, and on the defensive side, maybe they may play defense here and there, maybe 60% of the game. He's required to play 100% of the game because that's really what he does. He's the anchor of that team. So when you think about what's expected of him right now, playing both sides, it's just wearing down on him, and just he's still a frail guy, right? I think he'll have a totally different body 5 years from now than
you
he has
can say
right
that
now.
I can't.
Yeah.
So I am not qualified to make that
that's
assessment.
All you.
Those are the things that's bothering him, and it's just he's carrying the weight of the world, kind of face of the league, face of the Spurs, all of these different things. It's just a lot on him right now.
All right, let's talk about the 2-time MVP, SGA, who's apparently never satisfied. He had a rocky start to the game last night, went 1 of 5 in the first quarter, ended up finishing with 32 points and 9 dimes, holds himself to a very high standard. Here is how Shea assessed his performance after the game.
I might have had the worst start to a basketball game in my career, but the group held it down, kept us in the game. somehow we still won the first quarter. But that's just a testament to the guys in the locker room.
When are you going to think you had a good game?
When I have a good game.
I mean, it's good leadership, if nothing else. Rachel, should Shea be happy or satisfied with that performance last night?
I mean, look, what makes a man happy? No, I mean, he's right. It was one of the worst first quarters I have ever seen him play. It was very unlike him. I think there was just so much pressure on him. But he's also right that he has such depth on his team, even with Jalen Williams out, even with A.J. Mitchell out. These guys around him held that going until he got his rhythm. They are defending him like crazy. They are picking him up high right when he crosses the midline. They're also making him commit to drives when he does get a little bit further so they can put a bunch of traffic around him. But here's a great stat. The Thunder last night were +8 in the non-Shea, yes, Wemby minutes.
Yeah, that's
crazy. So when
crazy.
Victor was on the floor, but Shea wasn't, the Thunder actually were up from where they were with Shea on the floor. Now, if you look at the other direction, when Victor's off the floor, I don't know what it is adjusted after last night, but it was going into the game, it was something like -48 for the series when Victor was off the floor. So obviously, Victor's got to win those non-Shea minutes, and it just speaks to the depth around Shea. And he might not have a great breakout game for this series, and that's okay if they advance to the NBA Finals.
That's the interesting thing about the playoffs, right? These stats, sometimes I think they could be a little misleading, right? Shea is obviously the engine that makes them go, obviously. I think some of the places where he's struggling is like even last night he had 6 turnovers, right? Those are normally things. He's not a high turnover guy, right? So those are the things that we're seeing that we aren't used to seeing from him. But we will say that the Spurs, because this series is getting a little deeper, and I think these guys are starting to figure out ways to guard him, not stop him, right? Normally he likes his little push off to get to his jumpers. He's doing that, but these guys are big enough, strong enough, and athletic enough to still contest. They'll also funnel him to the basket. They're like, okay, we're going to be overly aggressive. Go to the basket. Big Wemby's down there waiting on him. And then also the other thing is the way that the refs are actually reffing him, right? Sometimes they're letting him play. He got an SGA whistle at home last night. I don't expect him to get that same whistle, in San Antonio. But, at this point in the playoffs, there is no such thing as a perfect game. Maybe there's no such thing as really a good game.
Well,
right?
listen, if you can put up 32 points,
Yeah, I was about to say, at the end of the day, he made all the plays when it mattered the most. And that's what it's all about from superstar players like that.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty. It made the internet very mad because of the falling and the fouls and 17 free throw attempts. I know.
People didn't like that?
It's
weird.
Breaking news. The internet was collectively unhappy about something. And I'm sorry, and I said it earlier, but I want to say it again. Stephon Castle being the messenger for, they play physical.
Right.
Come on, man.
Right.
Have an ounce of self-awareness. Like, you have 2 hands on Shea the second he crosses half court anytime he doesn't have the ball.
Right.
He's so physical. So, Shea falls a lot, no doubt. He took a ton of free throws. I expect him to shoot fewer free throws in San Antonio. I'll concede all of those points. But this idea that there is some sort of the refs are just calling it for Oklahoma City because they really want them to advance, I think it's largely nonsense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think
I hate to...
You're good.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hate to hear that the NBA is rigged. I know how fans feel. I get it, man. And the referees can make mistakes. Mitch Johnson is signaling for a challenge. He is literally right in front of the official, and they don't see it. That is a mistake. It's not rigging. And here's the thing. If the NBA was going to rig, which they're not, the optimal finals is Victor Wembanyama versus the Knicks.
Yes.
That will make them the most money. That will spread Victor more all over the planet. He is their next big star. He is their next face of the league. So again, the NBA doesn't rig games. They just don't. But if they were going to, it wouldn't be this direction. So it's more just frustration with officials making mistakes and the inconsistency. Al made a great point. From game to game, it has been very different in this series. Game 4, they really let him play. Game 5, they didn't. So that could get more under control, too. I think fans would be happier.
An incredibly physical series. We'll see what happens in Game 6 tomorrow night. The Knicks. Oh, wow, Ramsey producing the show. Already feeling disrespect. They're in the finals, Ram. How much more disrespect can it possibly be? I was wrong. I'm sorry. So we know half of the NBA Finals matchup. The Knicks are going to be there. They'll get the winner of Spurs and Thunder. June 3rd is when it starts. And everyone knows who watches the show I wasn't too high on the Knicks. I thought it was, kind of a mirage. And again, Ramsey, huge Knicks fan, producer here, decided, let's end the show with this. Let's end the show with one of your favorite comedic actors ever, and huge Knicks fan, Ben Stiller, liking a post of me just saying, obviously I was wrong. Obviously. I guess I'm out of Ben Stiller's circle of trust, Rachel. This is very upsetting.
Well, I'm going to see Ben Stiller next week, so if you'd like me to say anything on your behalf, you let me know.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Tell him I'm sorry and Meet the Parents' top 3 theater experience of my life in terms of how much I've laughed in a theater. But it's like, this is how Ben Stiller's going to get to know me, Al. Knicks fans, can't you just let me have it? I was wrong. What more do Knicks fans want?
We want blood.
You want blood?
We want blood.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can't.
exactly.
All right. I can't give you blood. I can just drape myself in shame and double down and pick the Thunder.
Oh,
that's really all I got, Rachel. That's all I got.
Man, come on.
Let's go,
Look,
Knicks.
I will
Let's
say,
go,
did you guys
Knicks.
see, Danny, the 1999 pictures of Ben Stiller?
Yeah, I was wrong.
He's always been there.